We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Flugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Welcome into the studio. It sits on the corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Welcome on in. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to be a PATC legend. And in the comments and in the phone calls later in the show. Am I sounding okay to everybody? Put a Y for a yes or an N for a no. Now I'm getting a little bit of an echo here. A little bit of an echo. Am I okay? Why? Okay, at least I sound good to you. I do not sound good to me. Don't know why that is. Kind of sounds like I'm far away from the mic. Usually I get the opposite. Usually people are saying, get away from the mic because your voice is so loud. I got some echo going on here. Maybe something's off in your head. Well, we know that for sure. That goes without saying. We don't usually do these Sunday night shows. We are going to do them going forward for as long as the eye can see. But we are going to be doing these Sunday night aftermath shows into the off season as well. By the way, we're going to talk about the Week 9 games. We're going to talk about the conference races. We're going to talk about the AP Top 25. We're going to talk about this. Another report coming out of East Lansing where looks like there's a little bit smoke that the Urban Meyer to Michigan State isn't completely dead, that it might possibly be real, possibly. Jim Carparoni, who's been around for a long time with Spartan Magazine, he likes to put percentiles on things. He had Urban Meyer to Michigan State at 5% last week or the week before. Now he's got it at 17%. He believes that there's been communications volleying back and forth just recently in regards to what would this structure look like when it comes to money, his assistant coaches, things of that nature. I provided a link in the description where you can watch Jim Carparoni, a sports magazine. It was after the Minnesota game. He was doing a post game. He's a serious guy. I mean, So I put it as steam, right? It's steam. I haven't heard anything from people I talked to, but he put it at 17%. That's pretty high. He had it at 5%, goes up to 17%. He said he has evidence that they're volleying back and forth information. I believe somebody told me he's working with another person that does some investigation in East Lansing, Michigan, sports investigation. I just thought I'd bring that up. What do you all think the possibilities? I've got it lower than 17%, but it's interesting. It's interesting. No matter who you bring in there to East Lansing, even if it's Urban Meyer, they have more than a one-year project in front of them. That is a team that is complete disarray. That program is, I mean, I'm a fan of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I talk to Fighting Illini fans, Purdue fans, Hawkeye fans. We all think it's doomsday for our programs. Nebraska, they have some optimism, right? It looks like they're going to get to the first bowl game in 6 years. So they're happy. Wisconsin, at least they got Luke Fickell. They're in the midst of a transition. But there's people in the East, in the Big Ten East, that are as depressed as we are. Michigan State fans, Maryland Terrapins have lost 2 games in a row, which they can't lose those games. So we're going to get a lot of crazy stories in the offseason or at the end of the season about head coaches. There hasn't been a head coach fired yet, right? In Power 5? Right? There hasn't been a head coach fired yet. So, these athletic directors, when they have a guy who they know they're not bringing back next year, this is the time to pull the trigger because they want to get out ahead of the other athletic directors that are going to be replacing their head coaches. They want to start talking seriously to the coaches' agents out there that are looking to move up in the world of college football. So I think we're going to start seeing it now. Who's going to be the first one to get fired? That's also a question I have for the PATC community. Who's the first one to go? Okay, so I talked about the Urban Meyer thing. You can give us a call, put your comments, let me know. Does Michigan State have a 17% chance? Atlanta and Urban Meyer. And after the show, please take a look at Jim Carperone's Spartans Magazine YouTube. I have a link provided. Watch the whole thing. It's like 51 minutes. And he talks a little bit Urban Meyer at one part of the segment, talks a little bit about in the middle, talks a little bit more at the end of the possibilities of Urban Meyer to Michigan State. Mostly it's about the Michigan State Spartans not looking very good once again. But anyways, check that out. Also, before we get into what we're going to talk about, I need the PATC community to put your head on a swivel right now. I need you to do a little bit of an investigation for me. Right before I got on air, I got 2 people on Twitter, on X, telling me that I don't know if this is real, not real. I had to get on the air. We had to do this live show. But is there a Michigan Regents, Board of Regents meeting tonight? Are the Regents getting together to talk tonight? I quickly checked on their website as the music was playing, as we're getting ready for this live show, and I could not find anything. The Board of Regents website is kind of not as clean as others. So if somebody can check that out, for me, give me a yes or no. The rumors are out there. Michigan Regents are meeting tonight. I cannot confirm. Can't confirm or deny. So put your head on a swivel. Investigate this for me and put your comments down in the comment section or give me a call. In fact, I will just go ahead and open up the phone lines right now. Anybody can call me about anything. I didn't want to do that. Hold on. I screwed up again. Holy smokes. The worst part about this show is the host, without a question. Okay. So supposedly, I just want to show you this. Oh.
Call from
Kevin, the floor is yours. What do you got to say, good sir?
Hey, Greg, how you doing today?
Good.
Hey, based on the results yesterday, what are you looking at as your Final Four this year? It could be a real cluster. You could have chaos at the end of the year with some one-loss teams, them having to select some one-loss teams. I'm out here in Arizona, but I'm a BYU fan majority of the time, but I live in Arizona. So Arizona just popped Oregon State last night, so they popped their bubble a little bit.
Yes, I watched most of that game. I stayed up and watched most of that game. Arizona, man, woo! That program is turning around. Yeah, I think it's going to be chaos. I mean, okay, first of all, you're going to have Michigan and Ohio State. One of those teams is going to lose, right? Washington has a brutal November schedule. No offense to Washington. I've got them winning the Pac-12 championship. I got them going to the college football playoffs. But the chances of Washington getting through that rest of the schedule without a loss, I wonder what the percentages are. They could very well lose, obviously. Yeah, in Oregon, man, they're probably not going to lose again. Florida State, I think, is going undefeated. Georgia, I think, is going undefeated. Those might be the only 2 undefeated teams. Maybe the winner of Ohio State, Michigan is undefeated. you're going to have some chaos. No question about it. My predictions before the start of the season, Kevin, was Georgia, Florida State, Penn State, and Washington. So it looks like I already missed out on one of them. So it looks like it's going to be Michigan or Ohio State. And right now I got to give the edge to Michigan. Yep.
Don't feel too bad.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to say I think the only team that's probably going to challenge Florida State would be Louisville, but I don't know if they're ready to get on that stage at the end of the year and win that ACC game. So I'm with you. I think Florida State's going to run the table. Georgia, that Beck looks pretty good at quarterback. He's really starting to feel his get his oats going.
Yes.
So
yep.
It could be a tough team to beat with that quarterback playing
Yes,
well.
sir. Yep.
I think Oregon. I'm looking. I think Oregon in a rematch against Washington. I think Oregon will pop Washington. Washington hasn't looked that great the last 3 weeks, so I don't know what's going on.
I'm a little worried. No question about it, and I agree with you. If Oregon, Washington get that matchup back, I think Oregon's going to pop them. Like you say, I like that phrase. I'm going to steal that phrase from you. Pop them. I think they might pop them. No question about it.
And I think Kansas State may pop Texas this weekend. So.
And I agree with you there. Will Howard is spinning it now. I agree with you there. I wish I could disagree with you so we can have, we can go back and forth a little bit. But I think you're on something or you're on to something. One or the other.
I'm just a smart guy, Greg.
Yes. Well, I was gonna say, you're a smart guy because you're sounding like me. But I believe I went 1-7 this week against the spread, so I might have just insulted you.
If you were doing better than that, like I said, you'd be in Vegas making a lot more money, brother.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Greg, love your show. Keep it up. I try to catch it late sometimes, but fantastic job. Don't let the naysayers get down on you too much.
Got it. Appreciate it, Kevin. Call again, sir.
Hey, good luck, bud.
Thank you. First of all, before we get into Skyer's question, again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. You know when we come on live. Because we can come on live at any time. We do not have a schedule. We are loosey-goosey here at Peek Around the Corner. We can do a live show, and then we can come back and do a live show right after we finish the other live show. We go where the story goes. We can pop up at any time. So keep your head on the swivel. Make sure you get yourself, hit that notification bell so we know when we're coming up live, and smash that like button because it helps us with the algorithms of YouTube so very much. And we only survive on your donations. We don't do memberships. So if you want to donate to help us keep the lights on, hit that $ sign when you make a comment. We'll get to your comment as fast as we possibly can. Greg, you know anything about the U of M Board of Regents meeting with Ward Emanuel? I started this show asking the PATC community to do some investigation for me. I have heard it. I'm going to show you one of the places I've heard it. One of the places. I cannot confirm that it's happening. It may not be happening. Maybe it's just a rumor that got out of control. But I would like for everybody to see if we can nail this down. If we can confirm that it's not happening, great. If we can confirm that it's happening, it might be something that we're going to need to carry during this live show. Let me show you, everybody. Now, I've heard it in a couple places. I don't know if this is happening. This is right before we came on live. This is Matt Baxendale, writes for Bucknuts 247. Michigan Board of Regents meeting tonight with the athletic director. Can only be about one thing right now. This is going to be very interesting to watch play out because I'm quite sure that my decision makers are not thrilled about this situation. This just popped into my text feed, not verified. Breaking: University of Michigan Board of Regents meeting tonight per the Toledo Blade. Per the Toledo Blade. I've gotten something else that's came into my inbox. So I don't know if this is just, you know how it is. I don't know if this is just spreading like wildfire and there's nothing to it, or there is something to it. And if there is something to it, if the University of Michigan Board of Regents are meeting tonight with the athletic director, we're going to be covering it. We are going to be covering as much as we possibly can. So I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to keep looking and see if we can get some confirmation. Either way, let's get some confirmation on it. True, Urban Meyer doesn't do rebuilds. Yeah, in a lot of ways, Urban Meyer to Michigan State doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me. I mean, first of all, I don't think he can work anywhere because I don't think it's. I think Urban Meyer is. I want to be careful with my words. He was so out of control at Jacksonville. If he's going to go into the ring again, he can't act anything the way he did at Jacksonville and a lot of other places. But I don't think he can successfully do it. Especially a rebuild like Michigan State and most rebuilds. With Urban Meyer, I don't see it. But I brought it up because Jim Carparoni from Spartans Magazine talked about it after the Minnesota game. He brought it up to about a 17% chance. And he talked about it. I put a link in the description. You can watch the whole video. So we have a couple stories that we don't know, like Urban Meyer to Michigan State, and is the Michigan Board of Regents actually having a meeting tonight with Ward Emanuel? Is that happening? Can we get some confirmation, yes or no? Peek around the corner. Do some investigation as we're on live. Jim Bagley, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate the generosity to the show. Matt Campbell would be a good fit at Michigan State. I would think he would be on the hot board. I still like Dickert for Washington State. But Matt Campbell, he'd be a good fit anywhere, almost anywhere in the Midwest. Thank you, Jim Bagley. I appreciate your super chat very, very much. Now, let's go. Craig, say hi to Ryan. He is listening to you. Ryan, my nephew. Holy smokes. Ryan, take good care of my wife, Mireya. I appreciate it if you get her home safely. Thank you, sir, for driving her home so I can do this important live show tonight here at Peek Around the Corner. So everybody in the chat, please say thank you to Ryan. He's the one that's so we can get this done tonight. Wet blanket. Ollie Gordon leads the nation in rushing. Nick Martin leads the Big 12 in tackles. Both are sophomores. Ollie Gordon, holy smokes. Holy smokes. There's two Oklahoma State Cowboy running backs who have rushed for over 250 yards back-to-back games. One of them is the legendary college NFL Hall of Famer, Barry Sanders. The other one is 2023 sophomore Ollie Gordon. Holy smokes. Oklahoma State. Let's take a look at them real quick here. Let's take a look at him real quick. Everybody's saying thank you, Ryan. AMAC is saying thanks. Randy Taylor, Richard L., Colorado, Buffalo. Thank you very much, Ryan. Appreciate it, good sir. You are, Ryan, you are the greatest no matter what everybody else thinks or says. All right? Okay. Let's take a look at the poll, at the AP poll, because the AP poll, if somebody, I'm going to get back to this, if somebody has proof that there is a Michigan Regents meeting, please DM me a link or some sort of proof on that. People are digging, the word is spreading, and if that's happening tonight, holy smokes, buckle up. But again, I don't have confirmation of it. Let's take a look at the AP top 25. Oklahoma State. Look at Oklahoma State. They're just outside of the top 25. They're the leading team getting votes at 77. 77 votes. Mike Gundy, that team is a-coming. They're going to cause more problems in the Big 12. Kansas State's number 25. USC's number 24. I don't believe USC should be in the top 25. I don't see how they can be in the top 25. Oklahoma State should be in the top 25. USC should be just out of the top 25. The other part of this top 25 that I did not agree with is Kansas. They should be number 20, number 19, number 18. Why they're at 22, I do not know. They lost to Oklahoma State by a touchdown on the road. They lost to Texas. They've won all the other games, and they just beat Oklahoma. And they look good doing it. They've looked very good this year once again by Lance Leipold. The rest of the top 25, I don't have a problem with it. I don't. Utah dropped down to 18. Air Force is at 17. Oregon State dropped down to 16. That looks good to me. Everything else looks good. If you're looking at your screen, I have no problem with the rest of the top 25. Now, to the College Football Playoff Committee, when they put out their first rankings, playoff rankings, Tuesday night, and we're going to be on live carrying that in real time. So come join us. Put down your real rapid reaction, your reaction to the rankings being revealed. Will they have it? Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3, Florida State 4? I don't think so. I got a feeling that the voters are going to have Ohio State at number 2 or number 1. Georgia and the Buckeyes are going to be 1 and 2. I think they're going to take a look at Michigan's resume, and they're not quite going to be there. Michigan's going to be either 3 or 4, I believe. But overall, I think they did good job with the voting. Let me know what you think. Let me know if the voters got it all wrong. Let me know if I've got it all wrong, because I agree mostly with the voters. The Jayhawks don't get any respect. That's Richard L. 22, I didn't look at it. I didn't see it. I'm not seeing it. Why they didn't get more votes, I do not understand. Okay. Again, the Pokes will have a good day running the ball next week. We will see if their defense holds up to Oklahoma's passing attack. Yeah, that's going to be a good game. That is going to be a good game. And I better stay away from it. because Greg the Cooler is absolutely freezing. And I feel like I'm the one who's bringing these teams down. If I go with you, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're not going to cover the spread. But you're probably going to lose the game. And it's my fault. That's how bad it's gotten. That's how bad it's gotten. Amadeus says, well, I think we're going to Olive Garden first. Sorry, Greg. No dinner for you today. Well, I think I can skip a dinner. Got no problem with that. I think I can skip a dinner. Now, do we have any confirmation from anybody? Anybody at all? What are people saying? Is there a Michigan Board of Regents meeting going on tonight? I've gotten a few more DMs saying, yes, it's happening. Yes, it's happening. But I don't have confirmation of it. I can go check. Now just give me a second. I'll go to Michigan 247. Again, the phone lines are open. You give us a call. There's real no monologue here in the aftermath. We're going to go through the conference races. We're going to do all that. Just give me a second. Let me poke. Whoops. I did that wrong. Holy smokes. Nope. I think that's the wrong one too. Yeah, that's the wrong one too. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, so there's nothing on the Michigan 247 site about a possible Michigan regent. I'll go to the Ohio State 247 site. Again, if you're just showing up to the show, there is some speculation out there that there is a regents meeting someone started a thread on Bucknuts 247 in regards to the so-called Regents meeting tonight, and the mods deleted it. I cannot show you. I'm not going to show you. I'll let you know what it says, but I'm not going to provide 247 paywall. I can't show it on my screen. I don't want to get in trouble with 247. Trust me on that. A moderator on Bucknuts 40 minutes ago said that he was the one who deleted the thread. He cannot confirm that there's a meeting going on, but he doesn't know that it's false yet either. So they're still battling with this issue. Is this something real or not? The Sam Webb from Michigan 247, I guess last night, said he thought it was going to happen, where the regents are meeting with the athletic director. Let me continue to see what I can see here. Just give me another minute. Again, this is dropped right before I was coming on live. I got hit with a few different direct messages talking about a Michigan Yeah, I'm not getting any confirmation on that. And so it's a mystery right now. I'm going to close that up. 247 definitely does not have confirmation that there is a meeting going on tonight. A newspaper in Toledo says there was. Okay, we'll drop that unless somebody can provide me information. DM me in my in my Twitter if somebody has confirmation that there is a meeting going on. They do not know. They do not know. Bucknuts 247 cannot confirm it. I know they put it out there, but they cannot confirm it. I just read it. I just read their most updated statements. Bo Stacker, Kansas tearing down the goalposts is the kind of stuff that makes college football and basketball so great. Yeah. The emotions, grabbing the goalpost, going and dumping it, throwing it into the lake. Wow. 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 It was a great game. Backup quarterback. I was doing a watch party on that game. But then there was a weather delay, and my schedule was so compacted and squeezed anyways. Because of the weather delay, I knew I wasn't going to be able to finish the game. So I had to stop less than halfway through the game. And I went on live and said, sorry, we're going to have to stop the stream. That weather delay killed my watch party. But it was a great, great game. Fun to watch. It was definitely the best game of the weekend. But there were some really good performances. Really good performances. Okay, let's go to the college football standings. The American Athletic Conference, we're all waiting for the Tulane UTS game on November 25th. But there sits the SMU Mustangs, also at 4-0. And if you look at their schedule, they play Rice, North Texas, Memphis, Navy. Now the Memphis game could cause them some issues. Rice played a really tough game with Tulane here last Saturday. But SMU's got a chance just to roll on through and get to the American Athletic Conference championship game, and the next year they go on to the ACC. So SMU is right there. Memphis Tigers still has a shot. The ACC, Florida State Seminoles 6-0, but who's going to join them in the ACC championship game? Now, going forward, especially like now, but really 2024 and going forward, these conferences getting away from divisions, tiebreakers. Everybody's going to have their conference's tiebreakers, the criterias. We're all going to have them memorized. Midway through next season, we're going to be able to rattle it off saying, oh yeah, this is tiebreaker 1, tiebreaker 2. Because that's how a lot of this is going to be determined, and who's going to be the two teams from every conference going to the conference championship game. Louisville Cardinals, 4-1. Let's take a look at their remaining schedule. They have Virginia Tech at home. They have Virginia at home, and the Cavaliers are playing so much better football. At Miami. And then that non-conference game against Kentucky. That game against Miami, that could decide it. That could decide it because Miami came back and won in overtime. And they're sitting there at 2-2. They beat the Cardinals. They could have some tiebreakers against them. Look at the Virginia State Tech Hokies. They're right there. They are right there. They play Louisville. Big game. Big game next week. Boston College, North Carolina State, Virginia Tech. So that ACC, the number 1 team, Florida State, that's locked up. But who's going to be that number 2 team? Right now, Louisville has the inside track. Here comes the Big 12 Conference. Look at this. Look what you got there. The Oklahoma Sooners losing to Kansas. Iowa State. Oklahoma State. Texas. Kansas State. All 4-1. And then you got Kansas and the West Virginia Mountaineers at 3-2. Now, you take a look at Oklahoma Sooners' schedule, you know what's coming up next week. Oklahoma State. The winner of that has a huge leg up on who gets to the Big 12 championship game. And then Oklahoma has to play West Virginia. Now, they have the Mountaineers number.
Call from
Immaculate.
Immaculate, the floor is yours. What do you got to say about Week 9 aftermath or anything else you want to talk about?
I was actually just calling just because of that little bit you were just showing on the Big 12 with the way they were set up. I don't know if you have that still to show or not.
Yep. First of all, Kevin Long, thank you for the super chat. If Urban takes the Sparty job, he'll be popping. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kevin Long, for your. I just don't want to say it out loud because I don't want to get in trouble. Thank you, Kevin Long, for your super chat. I appreciate it. I appreciate your generosity to this channel. It would be a long, hard climb. No question about it. It would be hard. According to Jim Camperoni, there's a 17% chance now. Thank you, Kevin Long. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Let me put it up there. I'm putting it back up there. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. There it is. I got it back up on the screen, Immaculate. Oklahoma, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Texas, Kansas State.
I'll talk here a little bit while I wait for the stream to catch up here, but just kind of pointing out how this, while Texas and Oklahoma are there, this is the kind of how I foresee the Big 12 being in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay, so it's not just me. AMAC saying it's not on the screen.
I don't have it up there. I'm sorry. What am I doing?
No,
sorry about that. Okay, now it's up on there.
The lag in the feed.
No, it was my incompetency. Now it's up.
Because, like, you look at this and you see how there's 2 teams in there that aren't even ranked. And so that's why when some folks are like Kansas should be higher, I say, not so fast. I mean, just the fact that they are ranked right now is pretty good. I mean, there's a lot that can happen here.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be pretty wild if Iowa State ends up on top of this.
Yeah, let's take a look at the remaining schedule here. They've got Kansas this week, BYU, Texas, and Kansas State. That's a pretty brutal schedule.
Texas at home.
Yes, Texas at home and at Kansas State.
And Iowa State has a history in this conference of getting those late season wins when other schools are looking past them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Texas plays the final week or in the final game, but that's one of those where that they might look past that. I don't know.
Yeah. But
that's basically the Big 12 of the future. I mean, Texas and Oklahoma are going to be gone, but when you start bringing in Utah's and Arizona might actually be really good next year.
They got something going. Yep, no question.
So So for people who kind of maybe think that because they're not going to have Texas and Oklahoma there, that this conference isn't going to be any value. I'd say it's kind of the opposite. I mean, if you can end up in the end of the year where you've got a race between 4 to 6 teams and 4, 5, 6 of them are all ranked, I don't know what much more you can ask for. I mean, we don't have that going on in the Big Ten.
Nope.
The SEC doesn't have it going on. That's a 1-team race pretty much.
Yeah.
We're a 2-team race, and one of those might not even be able to play in the postseason.
Yeah.
The pack is as strong as it's looked, kind of just looking like a conference at this point where a bunch of transfer quarterbacks went over there to dominate because, well, 1 team or 2 teams maybe have a defense, but that's about it. I'm looking at this now, the way things are starting to shake out in the Big 12, and this might be the most impressive conference.
Yeah.
I'm not a Big 12.
Yeah.
Big 12 might say I'm biased, but
it's all right. No question about it. No question about it.
TCU there at the bottom. They were in the they were in the damn tournament last year. So
yeah. I don't think we're going to know the 2 teams going to the Big 12 championship till the final weekend. Can we take a little peek at the Big 10? Michigan, Ohio State, 5-0, 5-0, Penn State, 4-1. Look at Rutgers. Now they're ahead of Maryland. Okay? They have their 6 wins. They play Maryland at home on November 25th. I'm bringing this up. Now they do play Ohio State, Iowa, Penn State, Maryland. But I guess what I'm trying to say is at the end of the year, now I lost my, at the end of the year, Rutgers could be ahead of Maryland now. Okay? Like Big Ten record, overall record, better bowl game. That's quite the achievement from Schiano. Maryland losing back-to-back games that they were favored in, has given Rutgers an opportunity to get to a pretty good bowl game if you consider the rest of the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
And the Big Ten West, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Nebraska, all 3-2, Northwestern 2-3. It's probably, there's a decent chance it's going to go to tiebreaker on who's going to win the West this year. Pretty fascinating. Minnesota has that loss with Ohio State coming up, second to last.
Yeah,
so
that Ohio State game might be a pain for them.
Yeah,
in terms of
but then Minnesota has Wisconsin at home. So if Minnesota can get by Illinois this week and Purdue the next week, that Ohio State game might not keep them from controlling their own destiny. But the other teams have easier schedules in the last 4 games. So, but they play each other. Iowa plays Nebraska.
Yeah.
Wisconsin plays Nebraska. Go ahead.
Iowa plays Northwestern this week, so that's happening.
And that's at Wrigley Field.
Northwestern always just seems to be a pain in our ass. I don't know why. I do not, but they are. And I think any of those teams can make it because I can sit here and try and project who's going to win against who.
Yeah.
And it's just I do think that
it is.
I do think that Rutgers could peak, go 3-1. Most likely 2-2. I do think that Rutgers team is better than Iowa. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be a loss for us. But here's my shot. I think that Rutgers team could beat that State team.
Rutgers could beat who?
Penn State.
I mean, it's.
I don't know where that game's at. If it's at State, that's going to be more difficult. But if it's at Rutgers, that Penn State team is.
It's at Penn State.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an uphill battle. But I mean, that Penn State team is not. That impressive. I mean, Indiana.
Yeah.
Is not. They made Indiana look better.
Yeah.
Indiana's about as high ranked as Iowa, and yet you saw. So I don't know.
And then if we quickly look at the Pac-12, Washington Huskies 5-0, USC 5-1, Oregon 4-1. Oregon State Beavers lost the game they probably couldn't lose. So they're 3-2. Utah's 3-2. Arizona's 3-2. UCLA 3-2. Oregon and Washington, they might be having a rematch. Washington, I'll just say this and I'll let you have the floor. Washington finishes the season at USC, at home to Utah, at Oregon State, at home to Washington State.
I would say their biggest chance to lose there is still Oregon State.
Yeah. Yeah, but, they could go 4-0. They could go 2-2. A lot of tough games. I think
it's going to be Washington, Oregon, and honestly, someone could say Oregon's looking better right now, but how it comes to at that time, I'd say that's a toss-up. Just like the last game, it's a toss-up. So I don't think Oregon State's a better team than Washington. I definitely don't think USC is going to be able to hang with Washington.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That defense.
That team is art. I mean, they weren't that good on defense or anything, but they've just completely fallen apart.
Yeah.
So we'll see that. But the storyline for the Pac for me isn't even about this year.
Yep.
It's about next year. And what I think UCLA could be the surprise team. And there's a lot of talk about Oregon, Washington, USC coming into the Big Ten, and UCLA has been overlooked. But this team at UCLA is strong at the line, strong defense, young quarterback. They're going to be coming in next year. They might actually be the team out of the West, depending upon who Oregon loses and Washington loses. And USC is obviously losing the guy who's keeping them in all their games. So that's something to look for just for Big Ten fans who might be overlooking UCLA on certain schedules next year.
Yep.
That might be the team that we need to watch for in the West. So we'll see.
Yep. Dante Moore having a good true freshman season. He's only completing 51.8% of his passes, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. But he is a true freshman. That Steele guy, the running back, the transfer, I think he's a senior this year. Their leading rusher, I think, is a senior. I might be wrong on that. Let me pop that in. He seems like he was playing in the MAC conference forever. No, he's a junior. Holy smokes. Yeah, they're going to be tough next year. You're right about that.
But and it's for all the right reasons too. Like it's like the quarterback discussion, whether that guy's actually going to be the quarterback or if they've benched him now and he's not going to be. I don't know. He's only a freshman. If he's getting benched, he could still be good next year.
Yeah, he's benched.
But they're so good in other ways.
But it's still
more.
It's still go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just saying the thing.
No, I know Dante was benched. But still, a true freshman season.
Yeah.
It's pretty. He's doing okay.
It's not the end of the world. He's a freshman. The fact that he was out there at all kind of says that he's got some talent. Maybe he just needs, another off season of, first team practice starts in order to be ready. But they're coming in the Big Ten. Let's be real. I haven't seen their schedule. I don't even know if we actually have full schedule out yet.
No, we do not. Minnesota plays UCLA, but we don't know when.
They're built the right way to come in, and even if you've got yourself kind of a shaky quarterback, they're built the right way to run with Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
They've got the line play. They're built for it. So I've got a whole lot much more than that. I personally, the Michigan thing, I look at the signals stuff as a crutch. Until I see them play now, I don't know how to judge them.
We've got breaking news. We've got breaking news. Now, Immaculate, there's nobody that treats you worse than I do. Every time you call, I interrupt you 3 different times. There's always breaking news when you call.
Yeah, but then I get to be here for it.
Yeah, so I do apologize. I do not have. Now we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to do some work. PATC community, get your head on a swivel. We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to do some work during this live show. Breaking news, and I've already screwed it up. I can't even put it up on the screen. It is so screwed up. Hold on. I do not have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal. I'm just going to have to read it to you. I cannot, for whatever reason. Michigan has rescinded the contract offer to Jim Harbaugh after sign stealing allegations, the Washington Journal has reported just now. Wow. And why can't I get this thing the bleeping work? Okay, I'm just gonna show you. I see it won't let me. You guys are gonna have to trust me, I guess. I'm not making this up. The Wall Street Journal page just goes into where you can't see anything. You can't even see the title of the article. The Wall Street Journal has just reported the contract offer to Jim Harbaugh has been rescinded. Holy smokes. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? That means... go ahead.
Hey, I don't mean to pull from you, but I got a front office sports report of it on X if you want to use that.
Can you DM me it? I'm sorry, I cannot get that Wall Street. It's not showing anything. I mean, it's there, but I can't even give you the good picture of it. Holy smokes, Mac is saying. Oh boy, Stephen Vitt, breaking news while live. That happens to us a lot. If that report is true, Harbaugh will run to the NFL, but Cornelius Green. A couple good reports out there from a couple different outlets. One was CBS Sports. I can't remember the other one. Okay, hold on. Said Cornelius Green said that NFL might not be a safe harbor for Jim Harbaugh. They might not. Did you send it to me?
Yep, it's in your GM right now.
Okay, here we go. All right, thank you. All right, here we go. Now I can pull this up. Breaking news. Jim Harbaugh. Michigan has pulled the contract offer that would have made Jim Harbaugh the highest paid coach in the Big Ten. The decision to rescind Harbaugh raise came after this month's sign stealing allegations. They rescinded that baby. In other words, Jim Harbaugh could not accept it, and somebody leaked this to the Wall Street Journal. And I am now more intrigued about a possible Board of Regents meeting at the University of Michigan with the athletic director. But again, I don't have that confirmed by any real source that I can put that has any meat to the bone. Yes, Immaculate.
Wouldn't that have been necessary in order to do this?
I don't know. I think, I don't know. Good question. The athletic director would need the Board of Regents. They have input, of course, when this huge, massive offer was made to Jim Harbaugh. So I think you're probably right. I'm guessing that he needed to communicate to the Board of Regents to officially rescind the offer. I think that's a very good point, Immaculate.
I don't think any AD is making this call on their own.
No. Yeah.
You'd have to be one heck of a powerful AD that everyone, bows to.
Yes.
And that's not the case.
Well, right now, Gene Smith is basically the athletic director and the president of Ohio. So, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yep. Wow. Breaking news.
And to see that the reports were true, then that this, and someone who was there at that went straight to the Wall Street Journal.
Yes.
And told them.
Yes.
Because they didn't want it out through whoever. I mean, someone went right there and told them the moment that meeting was over.
Yes.
So that's pretty quick. Pretty quick turnaround right there.
So,
when you're still trying to figure.
So maybe there was a meeting then.
I would tend to believe so. I mean,
yeah.
That something would have had to have come together in order to make that happen. So, wow,
yeah.
you got that in live.
I tell you what, there's still, most of the Michigan Wolverine fans, and I know they're emotional, their heart's in it. I get it. They're having another great year. But yes, I think they're probably going to go out on Twitter, on X tonight, and on the message boards. And I think there's going to be a lot of upset people. Let's put it that way.
Do we know how many years he has left on his current contract?
I can see if I can look it up.
I can look it up while you're
expires after 2026. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. That could be wrong.
So I wonder if they're doing this, do you think that they'll look to buy him out, or do you think that they'll fire him with cause? They're not keeping him up.
It all depends on what kind of information they have, and I think they probably have a lot. And there's even a chance that the University of Michigans are the one that did the investigation, right? There's a chance. I don't know. I mean, there's a chance the University of Michigan were actually the ones who started the investigation. I don't know. We don't know that yet. But
here's the thing, though.
Yep.
If you're gonna fire him with cause, then who cares if he? Because I'm guessing there was a contract extension out there, an offer that was out there to him to accept if he wanted to. If you're gonna fire him with cause, I mean, who cares if he picks it up? I would think. But if you're thinking about maybe having to do a buyout with him, like it might come to that, then I can see you rushing and hurrying to quickly pull that offer because that would be more that you'd have to buy out if he quickly accepted that.
Well,
you know
let's put it this way: getting this done, rescinding the offer, hurry up and getting that offer rescinded opens up more options to them. Either negotiate the settlement or firing with cause. Either way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they have more.
It definitely keeps the price lower though for buying out. Whereas I think if you're going to fire him, you're going to fire him, and if you have it with cause, then you're not.
Rescinding the offer. Rescinding the offer means that you don't want him back.
Oh, that's clear.
Because but just follow me here. Rescinding the offer it means you don't want him back because you're not going to go and you've seen enough. You've seen enough inside your own investigation of this. Either this investigation at the University of Michigan has been going on for quite a while, or it just started when they found out, like we all did, right? And so it means that he's not going to be the head coach past 2026, and it really means he's not going to be the head coach next year because you can't recruit, right? You can't recruit. No. So this is it. I mean, this is really it. Jim Harbaugh he's Yeah, he's gone. Now it's just a matter of how does he leave? Does he leave after the season? Or does he leave before the season? But yeah, he's not going to be the odds of him being the head coach of Michigan in 2024 has just dropped through the floor. Right, Immaculate?
And it's bigger than that because how much of this coaching staff is going to have to go with him? Like, they're going to have to clean house. We saw pictures with multiple coaches with these, sign books in their hands. So it's not really just Jim Harbaugh. He's just the first domino, but you start looking at, defensive coordinator was seen with one of these books. I don't know if the offensive coordinator, they may have to just bring in an entirely new regime. You want a crazy talk, here's crazy talk. I don't think it's going to happen, but what if they reach out to Urban Meyer?
Oh, come on. Come on, you're killing me.
I was just seeing if the Ohio State guys are still out there in chat. But they got to bring in someone who can bring, a big turnaround, like a big name that can come in and turn this around and keep recruits. And I don't know. I think that's an interesting thing. I bet you've got people probably lining up to call in and talk about this.
Yeah.
So I am going to let you go and stop being selfish.
Appreciate it, man.
And I'll talk with you again later, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, Immaculate. I just changed the title of the show. Jim Harbaugh's contract offer has been rescinded. So you should see a new title of the show. Breaking news. Breaking news. Jim Harbaugh's contract offer has been rescinded. And ladies and gentlemen, let's just take a look at it logically. It took me a while to get there. Immaculate got it right away. Probably 99.99% of the PATC community got it right away. I did not. I'm a little slow. The fat guy from Minnesota, we are a little slow, okay? Jim Harbaugh, Wall Street Journal. Jim Harbaugh's contract offer has been rescinded. They were going to give him a whole bunch of money. That means he's not coming back. They're not going to go back into negotiations. Michigan has already seen enough. They've rescinded the offer. And you cannot, in this day and age, you cannot be a dead man walking as a head coach, especially like a program in Michigan. This means Jim Harbaugh's days at Michigan are numbered. Can he last the season? Would Michigan? I don't know. Honestly, but going into 2024, there's only one way to look at this. Jim Harbaugh's not going to get another contract with Michigan. And therefore, you cannot continue to be Michigan's head coach because just the recruiting aspect of it, you will get killed. Everybody knows this. So Jim Harbaugh's days at Michigan are numbered. It could be 1 day. It could be 2 days. He could be gone before the game against Purdue next week. I think they play Purdue next week. But he's definitely gone before the end of the season. And then take a look and then just think about what it took for Michigan to rescind that offer. They were going to give him the moon. He was going to be the highest paid Big Ten coach out there. I think the country. 2-time reigning, defending Big Ten champions. They're 8-0. They're 5-0. They're the number 2 team in the country. You know how much it took for Michigan to rescind that offer? Knowing that meant that Jim Harbaugh is not going to be your coach for too many more days and weeks ahead. Definitely not going to the 2024 season. Do you know what that took? Do you know what Michigan must have seen or their perception of this investigation? They've seen enough. They've seen enough. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me how I got it wrong. This is why we've been taking this seriously. We go where the story goes. Michigan rescinded his big, massive contract, knowing that they're not going to go back to the negotiations again. That's it. It's over. It's over. So what? Michigan must see something in that investigation that mirrors what we've been seeing in public and quite possibly even worse stuff that we haven't seen yet. Jim Bagley, the offer needs to be rescinded before he can be terminated. If he accepted it prior to the board taking action, it would imply the school did not have cause. Very interesting. Jim Bagley, thank you for your super chat. Thank you once again for your generosity. What Jim is saying is they need to get that thing rescinded before he gets terminated. Or else firing with cause would have been a little bit more, tricky. You had to get it rescinded first. And shame on me, and I think shame on pretty much everybody else. I haven't heard anybody talking about, boy, they better rescind that offer. I wasn't even thinking in that way. Michigan rescinded Jim Harbaugh's offer, and that means they're done going down the Jim Harbaugh road. As successful as Jim Harbaugh's been, think about it. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Tony, thank you for your super chat. My sources told Tim Brewster is Michigan's top choice. I think you're onto something, or you're on something, Tony, and I'm pretty much sure you're on something. Thank you for the comedy. Appreciate it, Tony. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, Mr. Gopher. Thank you so very much. Thank you for the wonderful donations, Jim Bagley and Tony. Now, again, there's no coming back from this. And I need someone to call me up and say, Greg, you're wrong. They can renegotiate. They can get back together. Jim Harbaugh, instead of being the highest paid coach in all of football, he could be the fourth highest, the fifth highest, the sixth highest. Maybe Michigan, maybe this is a pause button, Greg. Maybe Michigan is just hitting the pause button. Maybe after the investigation, they'll come back and negotiate with Jim Harbaugh. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Jim Harbaugh, you give him an offer and you rescind it. Jimbo ain't coming back to the negotiation table. And if he's not, and if he's not going to get another contract, if there's no possibility of an extension, then how can he remain at the University of Michigan? That will kill recruiting. That will demoralize recruiting. And how does University of Michigan, the athletic director, how does he keep on Jim Harbaugh, knowing that it's going to kill recruiting? This rescinding of Jim Harbaugh's contract offer this Sunday, I think increases the possibility of Jim Harbaugh being fired with cause. I think the chances have skyrocketed before the end of the season. And I think there's a lot of fuel to the scandal. It could be bigger. It's already big in my eyes. Now, I know some people disagree with me. That's fine. But I think this is pretty big. Daniel Montecastle. Jim Harbaugh to Indiana. Daniel, your Hoosiers almost pulled that out against Penn State. And if they would have, Tom Allen probably could be around for another year. At this point, I think Allen is gone. Indiana is going to be having a big old hot board. We're going to be covering it, Daniel. I'm going to be looking towards your input of what you think is going to happen at the University of Indiana. Jake Dickert could be the one to go to Ann Arbor. Could be. I got him going to Michigan State. He knows the Midwest. That's why I've got him taking a good Big Ten job. We will see. We shall see. Again, the phone lines are open. 763-260-1333. Let me know what you think about the news about Jim Harbaugh. We already went through the conference races. We already done all the things we said we were going to do on this live show. Breaking news during the live show. Jim Harbaugh, the massive contract offer to Jim Harbaugh has been rescinded. Give me a call, 763-260-1333. I'm going to look across my, see how much more breaking news is going to be happening here. Just taking a look. See if there's any more reporting on it. The Wall Street Journal. More bad news from former Michigan State Spartans. Kirk Cousins suffers an Achilles injury. Quarterback of the Vikings, he's out for the rest of the year. I don't see any more reporting on it. I'm going to have to go to the message boards. I'm going to post the football scoop here. Football scoop. Let me get that bigger for you. Let me pop that up a little bit better. Football scoop report. Michigan polls contract offer to make Jim Harbaugh the Big Ten's highest paid coach amid the scouting scandal. The NCAA wouldn't have to drop the proverbial hammer for the allegations to have major and long-lasting negative ramifications for Wolverine football. On Sunday morning, the NFL Network reported on how the aura of the scandal around the Michigan program could have a cooling effect on Harbaugh's coaching prospects at the NFL level. The NFL, multiple reports from multiple different outlets talking about how it doesn't look like the NFL is going to be a safe haven for Jim Harbaugh. 3 weeks ago, Michigan planned to present Harbaugh with an offer that would make him the conference highest paid within the next month. Wow. And now the offer has been rescinded. According to the Wall Street Journal. Let me see if I've got any other reports going on here. I'm just trying to keep up with what all the stuff that people are sending me here. And I appreciate it. Okay. Again, the phone line's open. 763-260-1333. Michigan ain't going to get Leopold.
Call from
Steve.
Steve, thank you, Steve. Mr. Bearcat, thank you all for all the information you've given me. The floor is yours. Tell everybody what you think is going to happen here real soon with Jim Harbaugh.
I think he's done with maybe before the middle of this week.
Okay.
From what I understand from not sources, I always say people, that the big Michigan money people went to the Board of Regents, people on the Board of Regents, the president, the AD said, we're done with Harbaugh and his shenanigans. We're done. We're going to pour money. We've had enough of him, even though he is a Michigan man. That's I can't confirm that. I can't say who I heard it from, but that definitely happened. Just to have some fun, who do you think would be the number one guy that Michigan would want to replace him?
Well, there's I'm going to steal a couple comments in the comments section. A candidate, DeBoer from Washington. Kalen DeBoer,
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one. Boy, Michigan can get a lot of people, Steve. They can get a lot of people, man. They're a lot. There's only probably a couple head coaches that would even turn them down.
Right.
So,
right. Again, I heard Matt Campbell.
Okay, well, yeah, I think I think Michigan will I can see Matt Campbell in Michigan State, possibly. I don't see him in Michigan, though. I think Michigan's going to aim higher. Even though Matt Campbell, good coach, historically great coach for Iowa State. Unbelievable job. Jim Troy does say here, though, remember Michigan hired Brady Hoke and Rich Rod before. That's correct. So maybe you're on something,
Well,
Steve.
Matt Campbell's got Midwest ties like crazy.
Yep.
And I'll give you another couple tidbits I got. Don't be surprised if Elko takes a Michigan State job.
Ooh. Okay.
And don't be surprised if Jason Candle from Toledo takes an Indiana job.
Yeah. That'd be a great pickup for Indiana. He's
the two little tidbits of info I got. And, all three of the things I've just said could be completely wrong, other than I think Candle will end up in Indiana. The other two, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Candle's done all he possibly could at Toledo. I think it's time for him to grab a Power 5 job, and on the way he goes. He's
well, if people don't realize he coached under Matt Campbell at Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
and they're both from that
area,
little football dynasty in Northeast Ohio called Mount Union.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So they know how to win.
Yeah. Yeah. Mount Union, man. Division 3, Division 2. I can't remember what. But
3.
Yeah. Dynasty.
3. Yeah. So that's just a couple little Sunday night tidbits I'll leave with you. So,
all right, man. I appreciate the call. Big news. Thanks for the heads up, sir. I appreciate it.
Yep. No problem.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bearcat Steve. If you're just joining us, breaking news. Jim Harbaugh's massive contract, offer that he was going to get officially, he's not getting it anymore. So I think his days are numbered. Logically,
Call from
Moen
Vision. Thank you for calling us here. Special Sunday night live PATC. Jim Harbaugh's offer has been rescinded. That's got to mean his days are numbered, Moen. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I think he's fired before the end of the season, Greg.
Okay.
I don't think he makes it to the end of the year.
Got it. All right. It makes sense.
Too much. There's too much going on. I don't know who's going to be the interim head coach because I think some of the coordinators are probably getting booted as well.
Yes.
So we'll see. But I just wanted to put two names out there that I thought would probably be good fits. First off, their home run hire would be Dan Lanning at Oregon. Get him out of Oregon and get him to Michigan.
Wow. Okay.
Second option, and I know he just very early in his career, Jed Fish over at Arizona.
Yeah,
he has Michigan ties. He's shown that he can greatly improve a team because he's got Arizona winning some games they shouldn't be winning and coming close in games they shouldn't be coming close in. So I think Jed Fish at Arizona is another good pick for him.
Now, I don't want to be mean or anything, but 2 years ago, I watched it. 3 years ago, Arizona looked like I don't know. They look like I can't even say they look like a MAC team. They were so small. That program was in the ground. And look what they are now. They are competitive. Every week they're competitive. What a job. Great job being done. Go ahead, Monovision. I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
You made a great point, and that's at a basketball school. That's at a predominantly basketball school in Arizona. Not an easy place to get kids to come play football. He's done a lot with very little. He's very good at highlighting the positives and concealing the negatives. I know he's not a home run hire like a Dan Lanning or, I saw somebody mention Dabo Swinney. I couldn't imagine Dabo Swinney going to Michigan.
No.
But he's not necessarily the home run hire. But I mean, he could be the guy like Bill O'Brien was for Penn State, where he gets you through 5-6 seasons until you could transition to a more permanent coach. And he's got NFL experience. Got lots of NFL experience for the Rams, for the Patriots. I would put him out there as my dark horse candidate.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I'd say if I'm going for the fences, I'm saying let me poach Lanning from Oregon while the poaching is, it's feasible if Oregon doesn't make college football playoffs this year. Or even if they do, maybe that Michigan takes a little longer to find a coach. They go after Dan Lanning and make him one of the highest paid coaches in the Big Ten.
Lanning would be very interesting. I know all these coaches talk up of where they're coaching, their location, their school. Lanning really talks positively about Oregon in a way that Mario Cristobal never did. So I'm wondering if he would be interested. Yeah, I know there's not many coaches that would turn down a Michigan job, but he might be one of them, actually. Kind of interesting character.
I don't disagree with him. He's saying positive things about Oregon, but Michigan is still a premier coach. I mean, to become a head coach at a program like Michigan, I mean, there's a reason there's so few blue bloods. And I'm sorry, Oregon's not a blue blood yet.
Yeah.
They're not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, for Lanning to take alongside Saban and Kirby Smart, he's going to have to go to a premier program. And if the Michigan job's available, that's a hell of a job to have on your resume.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not a big time school that would look like it's going to be. There's no blue blood that looks like it's going to be hiring this time around. So
that's true.
This might be his best chance to get there. And Michigan has the money to pay the buyout. It's not like his buyout at Oregon is going to be a big deal for the boosters at Michigan.
Yeah.
You know, they can call the Miami Dolphins owner and have that wired over within an hour. So,
Yeah.
but that's my thoughts. I don't think Harbaugh's last in the season. I think he's going to get fired. I think the contract offer being rescinded is just the first step. He's out of there. Mentor's out of there. Their OC's out of there. Jay Harbaugh's out of there. It's just going to be interesting to see how that goes because I don't know how they're going to put together a coaching staff by losing that many people, but I can't see how they allow them to stay there the rest of the season. The more and more stuff keeps coming out.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and this is what I want to. I think you're right because you have the early signing period around December 20th. I think that's still the calendar. I don't think they've changed that yet. And so now the word is out that he's not getting a contract. The offer has been rescinded. This massive offer has been rescinded. And in my theory, Mullen, that means that they've already determined that Jim Harbaugh is not going to be no longer the football coach because you're not going to go back into negotiations. Jim Harbaugh is not going to be even interested in that anymore. You rescinded. Him and his agent was under the belief that he was going to be the highest paid Big Ten coach, this massive offer, and now it's been rescinded. So therefore, Michigan knows that this is it. Harbaugh's not coming back. And if Harbaugh's not coming back, then his recruits know he's not coming back. And now you're just hurting your recruitment by having him linger on as your head football coach, even though you're 8-0, 5-0, you're the number 2 ranked team in the country. Man, it all adds up that he's going to get let go.
And I think with the NCAA investigation, I think they're trying to ease the amount of bruising they're going to take on that by saying, look, once we found out, we fired them all. There's still going to be some punishment, but I think in their mind, they're hoping that it's going to be a little less severe if they go to the NCAA and say, look, once we found out, we cut bait,
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah.
So,
Now, Stephen Needling in the chat looks like he's a Michigan fan. According to his avatar, he says Jim will be the coach till 2026. But you just can't. Your recruiting is going to suffer if that's just isn't. And Jim doesn't want to be around if he's not going to get an extended contract. So I just don't see how that works. I think he's gone this year.
Once the contract offers are sent, I mean, he's either getting fired before the season's over, or they're firing him, or he's leaving voluntarily after the season.
Yes, either way.
Take your pick. I mean, you don't rescind a contract offer to put out the contract. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. But I can appreciate Steve doesn't want to lose him, but I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We'll see what the leak is tomorrow. I love these 7 p.m. Eastern leaks that come out daily on. Well, I can't. We talked about this on Nate's show. I can't wait to see what happens next. It's just when you think it can't get any crazier, it gets crazier. So I guess we'll tune in. I'll tune in to you tomorrow at 7. To see what the
or earlier
we can talk about
probably
or earlier, but it's usually between 6 and 7 it gets released. So all right, Greg, I'll jump off here and let some other people call in. I just wanted to give you my thoughts.
Thank you, Mon.
All right, bye-bye.
Phone lines open, 763-260-1333. Breaking news. As we were doing this live show, Jim Harbaugh, his massive contract offer his new contract offer, that him as agent was working with Mord Manuel with Michigan has been rescinded, according to Wall Street Journal. And in my eyes, that can only mean that he's not going to be around a whole lot longer. That means Michigan must have enough information to know that Jim Harbaugh, they're not going down that road. They're not going down that road. Now, there's people disagree with me. That's fine. Phone lines are open for you to call 763-260-1333. Mass exodus next transfer window. Perhaps some decent 3 stars. Now, if you are a football player, student athlete football player, and your coach gets let go, you do have a 30-day window open for you to transfer. Now, this is so late in the season. I think the players would want to stay to see if they can win a Big Ten championship, get to the playoffs and all that. If Jim Harbaugh was let go now, I don't think there would be a max exodus in this period. Well, I don't know. You know, the ramifications of this is pretty big. Coaches usually don't get fired for cheating. They get fired for not filling the stadium. The exception is if a crime has been committed. You know what? You make a good point, Rick. Usually it has to be a criminal or civil crime. This is neither from Jim Harbaugh, but it is unique. I shouldn't say a little bit unique. It's unique because it's a sportsmanship-like policy that he looks like he cheated on, or at least his football program cheated on. This fits into the category of the commissioner, Tony Petitti. Now he has all the space, all the room, all the authority to do what he needs, what he believes needs to be done for the Big Ten integrity when it comes to sportsmanship-like policy. So, while this is not a criminal civil case, this is not like back in the olden days, given a bag of cash, being found out in recruit, given it to a recruit. This is not like, this is big. This is just an overwhelming integrity of competition issue that Tony Petitti has before him. And who knows? Who knows? Maybe Tony Petitti and the University of Michigan president, along with the athletic director, maybe they've talked in the last 24, 48 hours. Maybe Tony Petitti says, this is what's going to happen. Or this is where it looks like it's going to happen. Or this is what we have so far in the investigation. Please respond to us. Whatever. And maybe Michigan has enough information. It looks like they have enough information to say, that's it. We have to rescind the offer. PM Dasher, Michigan is such a mess, they will have trouble stealing a name code from another power conference school. Thank you for your super chat. I appreciate it, PM Dasher. Michigan, to me, is going to be Michigan. Yes, they could hire somebody like a Brady Hoke, might bring the program down for a little bit. No question about it. Even in Michigan, that could happen. But they can get a big name coach, I think. Michigan. Plus, they have all the money. New media deal, Big Ten. But besides that, Michigan brings on over $200 million in the athletic department. And that's going to be rising big time here in the next media contract. We'll see which direction they go. But not many people would, if Ward Emanuel picked up the phone and called you as a possible candidate to be the new Michigan head football coach, not many candidates are going to say, thank you, not interested, bye. They're going to say, okay, I need to call my agent, we'll get back to you, bye. That's what they're going to do. Most of the candidates. That's my opinion. PM Dasher, thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you so much for your generosity, helping us keep the lights on here at Peek Around the Corner. Again, the number is open, 763-260-1333. The phone lines are open, I should say. Phone lines are open, 763-260-1333. We talked about the conference races, the ACC, the Big Ten, early in the show. But then, during the middle of the show, was breaking news. Breaking news, Jim Harbaugh, his massive contract offer has been rescinded. Iowa Northwestern has a historically low over-under number. That game's going to be playing at Wrigley Field, and I think that number is at 29, the over and under. 29 or 29.5. Either way, it is low. Again, I'm caught up with all the information that everybody's given me. Eric Bieniemy. Hey. Streetlight kid. I like how you're thinking. That could be.
Call from
JD,
Mr. Seminoles on the line. Holy smokes, the floor is yours. What do you think of this breaking news?
Well, we knew it was coming, but it's just now it's actually here, so it still catches us by surprise.
Yeah.
But, something, and I didn't see which person it said it. I think it was somebody in the chat talking about, PM Dasher. I kind of agree with that. If he does get fired in the middle of the season, is there I don't know, is there a respected quote-unquote Michigan man to take over? I mean, throughout to assemble a staff, it sounds so preposterous to fire half of a staff in the middle of the season. But this is huge. I mean, if it's known that if the evidence shows that all these allegations are true, you have to act and you have to fire him and you have to fire everybody associated with it. So to assemble a staff in the last 3 to 4 weeks of a season, I mean, I don't know how you do all that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but first before I go on, I mean, what's your opinion on that? Because
I mean, I don't. If this leads to Jim Harbaugh leaving before the end of the season, which is a very big if. For right now, I don't believe he's going to be the head coach in 2024. But you can't let go of the whole coaching staff. I think somebody within the coaching staff would have to be the head coach, interim head coach.
Sure.
Even if you're part of the guilty, you can't just, you can't just do a grand experiment right now with the great season you have, and you've got to keep competing for your university, for your fan base who's invested so much, and all the donors and sponsorship money and everything. So I would look, if Jim Harbaugh says that screw this, or if they have to fire him with cause, then I think they just bring on, one of the coordinators to be the head coach. But that's just a guess on my part.
I don't think, now that we're sitting here talking about it, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility they let him finish out the season, but they just don't. They more or less suspend themselves from any playoff. You don't want to put the Big Ten in a position, if the Michigan people are being respectable and are have enough foresight. You don't want to put the Big Ten in position to impose any kind of a postseason sanction or whatever's available to them. It sounds like they're getting ahead of this, and at least, I mean, I don't know. I mean, all this is just happening in real time, but it's just, fairness of play, just, you would hope they wouldn't try to go to the playoff anyway, knowing that these allegations are so serious. If they won the national championship, it would be vacated anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the black cloud that would be hanging over them all throughout the playoffs is just too much. Again, going back to our conversation the other day, I don't have anything against Michigan, but now I hope they lose sometime, in the next few weeks. I mean, I just hope they do, because I don't want all the players involved to have to deal with this. I wouldn't want a conference commissioner to have to, suspend a program's postseason. You don't want to have to do all those things. I know Tony Petitti doesn't want to have that on his resume, and a lot of the other administrators in the Big Ten don't want to have to be the one to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I do see where the comment that was listed up there on the chat. I kind of agree with that. You're not going to get a really, really big name coach come in until the stink is gone. Because you don't know how big those NCAA sanctions are going to be. You have no clue. And it doesn't matter if you say, oh, well, no, they'll guarantee a guy 5-year contract guaranteed, and they'll overpay whatever else. It doesn't matter when you lose your edge in recruiting, okay? And because I tuned in late, and I went in, and when I started hearing you talking about recruiting and so on, and I looked at the on-3 recruiting rankings. Right now, Michigan's 15 on on-3. I don't know what they are on the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
After this, they're going to drop in the 20s. They'll drop off. Well, when you've got all this cloud over your head, it's hard for a coach to recruit when you've got close to the death penalty hanging over you, and the stigma and all the the negativity throughout the program in successive years. It's hard to flip that switch. I mean, all I could say is Norvell, when he took over at FSU, the locker room was a mess. The roster was a mess. It was a G5 roster at FSU, and that was inexcusable. Mm-hmm. But then he had COVID hit, okay? He couldn't do any in-person recruiting throughout 2020. The first time he could see a new recruit or go to a school to visit a coach or a recruit, it wasn't until 2021. Okay? Michigan would have something like that over their heads. And Norvell, it's amazing that he still has turned FSU around this quickly with all the, obstacles in his way,
Yeah, I agree.
Any big-name coach that goes to Michigan knows is that he's already got one hand tied behind his back, maybe both, before he even gets started. And I don't know. I don't think it would be a bad idea if they did fire Harbaugh, that somebody took over interim, maybe interim for a couple of years. And that's what I'm saying is like a Michigan man. I don't know. I mean, that might be a bad idea. I know if remember Osborne or somebody else or some other big name coach that retired, as a coach. If this has happened in Nebraska, I know Tom Osborne has stepped in as AD or done other things at different times, but I don't know. Maybe Michigan could look to something like that, somebody just to help, get them through the rough waters.
I just got to interrupt you for a second here.
Okay.
I've been just told by one of my people that one of my associates said that Michigan did not have a regents meeting today. That did not happen. So this rescinding the offer has nothing to do with a regents meeting supposedly happened today. It did not happen today. Now that's according to one of my guys, who I trust. So we'll see if because early in the show, right before I came on, I got inundated from people in the PATC community saying that looks like there's steam, there's rumors that Michigan is having a regents meeting today with Ward Emanuel. And I couldn't confirm. I could not confirm it, but I just put it out there for you guys to investigate it. And I put out a call or a message to one of my guys, and they just came back and said Michigan did not have a regents meeting today, and so that has nothing to do with the rescinding of the offer. Sorry to interrupt you, JD.
No, and I appreciate you offering that, because all my speculation might be just worthless, because Michigan might just decide, we're going to ride it out and whatever happens, happens,
Yeah.
And that could be too, but anyway, well, like I said, I just wanted to call in because I just,
You got it.
this whole thing fascinates me. Glad it's not my fan. It's not my team,
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Thanks, JD. Appreciate the phone call.
Good night, sir.
You got it. Florida State, number 4 in the land. Thank you. Yep, you too. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open, 763-260-1333. Breaking news while we were doing other stuff, talking about the games that happened this weekend, talking about the game, the top 25. We went through the AP poll top 25s. You can see here. Well, you can't see that because I've lost the screen. We went through that, and we went through some conference races. There was a lot steaming up between the ACC, the AAC, the Big 12, the Big 10, the Pac-12. We went through all that. Then there was breaking news. Jim Harbaugh's massive offer has been rescinded, according to the Wall Street Journals. According to the Wall Street Journal. Woo! Big news, big news. Now, Stephen Needling, the Wolverine in the chat, says, guys, there's no proof that Jim did anything. There may not be. One of the reports that came out said there's no direct evidence that this report was focusing on that had Jim Harbaugh being directly involved with anything like this. But according to the rules, starting in 2023, it did the head coach not knowing is still no good. Not knowing that your team is doing in-person scouting, that you have a guy with a placard with all the hand signals of the opponents, the guy that sits next to the defensive coordinator when Michigan is on defense, the guy who's standing next to the offensive coordinator when the Michigan's offense is on the field, he's got hand signals of the opposing team. He stole those before the game even started, before the kickoff. Tough, very, very difficult to believe that. But irregardless, if Jim Harbaugh absolutely doesn't know what's going on around him, no idea what's going on around him, yeah, that's still not good. I mean, consider this. Michigan, TCU, playoff game. TCU gets tipped off. Michigan, they were fooled over and over and over again in that game. You don't think Jim Harbaugh is saying to his coaching staff, what's going on? We can't stop TCU. We think we know what their play call is, but we don't. What? Of course he's asking those questions. Of course he is. Doesn't matter. Guilty and proven innocent. That's actually the case when it comes to this NCAA investigation. This is not a court case or a criminal case. You have to prove yourself innocent. But not knowing what was going on is not going to get you off the hook either. Not going to get you off the hook either. Burden of proof is on Michigan to prove themselves innocent. Great. I wish Greg would stop brutalizing my name. I apologize. I brutalize a lot of names. Don't mean that as a sign of disrespect. I do not know how to pronounce that last name. And I mispronounce a lot of names. Ask anybody in the PATC chat room. English is my first language, and I still have difficulties with English. So there's a long story why that is, but we don't have to get into it tonight. But I have a very difficult time pronouncing words, especially names, and I don't remember them. So my apologies if I brutalize any one of your names. There's Stephen McNeely. Greg doesn't do a lot of names. Don't be too sensitive. Yeah, it's just one of those things. What happens if Michigan beats Ohio State, Penn State, and beats Florida State? He's still going to use the sign stealing as an excuse too. No, I'm not. I think Michigan would be 8-0 and 5-0 without the sign stealing. They could win the national championship without the sign stealing. They could be just playing better than everybody. It doesn't make it less wrong to do it, though. It's just more, it doesn't matter. And by the way, I mean, TCU, they had the time to change their hand signals. They had the time to do W signals. You don't get that time during the regular season. In-person scouting of another team's hand signals gives you the advantage over the other team. It doesn't mean you're going to stop them perfectly. It doesn't mean you're going to beat them in all your offensive plays. It's a game of percentages. And you've just helped yourself with those percentages with in-person scouting. That's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing it. That's why they did all this. That's why Connor Stallions paid all this money, or somebody paid Connor. It's against the rules. So, you might have won all those games anyways. Probably would have. It doesn't make it less wrong just because you're a dominant team without stealing the signs. What it makes you is, why are you doing this? Because you're a dominant team. You don't need to do this to win a national championship. It's not about excuses. It's about following the simple rules that have been there since 1994. A rule that Bob Stoops himself, if it's true, oh, absolutely, that's ridiculous. Listen, everyone acts like it happens all the time. No, it doesn't. I've never heard that in all my years of football in everywhere. Every team I've ever been on. Sure, do we look across the field? If you can see it, it's your job to do it. I'm able to just my plain eye look over and know what they're doing. I should be doing that. But the video people, and to send people to scout and marry up a signal with a play? No, 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 no. That's terrible. It goes against everything we're about. And look, and I asked the question, and no one seems to be able to answer this. This isn't really cheating. Da-da-da-da-da. Then why did Connor Stallions, why did those tickets that he bought for his Michigan interns or whoever to sit on the Penn State side of the field and Ohio State side of the field, why didn't they show up after the story broke? Why did Michigan suspend Connor Stallions? Of course, it's against the rules. It's not difficult. None of this is difficult. Okay. Phone lines open, 763-260-1333. Going to look at one little article here. Now, pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. Everyone sign steals Michigan. Steven, you're bringing up the talking points that have been absolutely decimated over the last 7 days. Everyone sign steals, but that is not what's in question. It's in-person scouting to film your opponent, to be able to marry up all the signals to all the plays, and then spend a week figuring it out. That's in-person scouting is not the same thing as merely stealing signs during a game. So a lot of just deflection, Steve. I'm sorry, but that all has been already decimated. All those talking points. Bazoo, I'm late. Is this true about little Jim? According to the Wall Street Journal, his massive offer has been rescinded, taken away. Taken away. Hi, Nathan. How are you doing? Okay. We've been on the air for probably a couple hours. We weren't going to do this long of a show, but we did have breaking news in the middle of it. Jim Harbaugh. His offer has been rescinded from University of Michigan. According to the Wall Street Journal, fake Tom Osborne, Steven the Cooler. Thank you for your super chat. I appreciate it. Steven has he can tell his opinion. Wide open. I love when people disagree with me. It's just that these are the talking points that we've talked about over and over and over and over. John Acker is saying this story may not be true. John Acker is the regent of the University of Michigan. That's who he is. He's the guy that you and I talked about Immaculate last week. Oh, now what is this? I got to be careful here. I got to be careful.
JD.
JD, the floor is open for you. I'm sorry, I'm checking up on a possible breaking news. I want to make sure I got it, but go ahead.
No, sorry for the call back, and again, sorry I haven't.
That's okay.
Set up my subscription yet, and I'll keep this brief. To know whether Jim Harbaugh was definitely involved, okay, let's just lay it like this. He's got a coach walking around with laminated sheets bigger than several restaurant menus that I've used before, okay? Standing next to him during football games and all the coordinators during football games, and everybody's paying attention to him. Okay. Yeah. Either Jim Harbaugh knows exactly what's going on, or he's not really running the program anyway.
Yes.
So, you know, the burden of proof is kind of right there on video for everyone. But anyway, that's all I was going to add. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I will get that, and I will get my YouTube subscription.
Got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep. Subscribe. Right. Got it. Thank you, sir. So I've got. I've got a couple things going on here. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Jordan Acker. I'll put this up on the screen. I got a couple things to go through with you guys here. Jordan Acker, hi Buckeye friend. Hard to do a fake emergency meetings during my kids' bath time. Can't wait to see you in a few weeks. That was in regards to the Michigan Board of Regents meeting. So I got a message from one of my BTM, one of his associates, saying that meeting did not happen today. And I reported that, I don't know, about 20 minutes ago. So that falls in line with this, what a regent is actually saying. So yeah, we can put that to bed. There was no Michigan Regents meeting that happened today. I do want to, hold on now. We got more of a story here. Got more of the story. I don't think they even officially offered Harbaugh. It was the offer that they were setting up to offer Immaculate. I think, but anyways, let's go into Sports Illustrated breaking article tonight. Let me pop this up. Everyone can see it a little bit better. I don't want to go through it all. A lot of it is just recapping everything that we already know. Again, this is Pat Ford. Michigan's silence on sign stealing scandal only adds to speculation. The school's lack of a public comment on the ongoing sign stealing investigation is not making the scrutiny subside. There is a couple part of this I think you're going to want to know. Some new parts of this. I'm skipping a lot of it because it's just regurgitating the same stuff. The true imperative here, there's a couple parts of this. Right here. The true imperative here rests with the Big Ten, which has one member allegedly perpetrating a cheating scheme to the detriment of its other 13 schools. The league has been deathly silent and seemingly has asked the spied upon 13 to avoid public comment on this as well. Some insight into what the league is doing is in order. A Big Ten spokesman told SI last week that it does not have a mechanism within our rules to protest the outcome of a game. So it's unclear what official recourse schools would have to challenge Michigan's 5 conference wins this season. Not to mention last year's 10. But certainly Commissioner Tony Petitti, 6 months into his tenure, is hearing from a lot of unhappy schools. Under the Big Ten protocol, Petitti could propose penalties to an executive committee compromised of administrators from conference members. The committee would have the power to approve those penalties, lessen them, or dismiss them. Okay, that's not even... So now we go through the same part. Now listen to this. Ladies and gentlemen, PATC community, listen to this. Multiple sources, this is a Sports Illustrated, broke this tonight. Multiple sources from one Big Ten school told SI that a coach at a different school called them before playing Michigan to warn them about the Wolverines ball boys on their side. Before Michigan, to warn them about the Wolverines ball boys on their sideline, listening to play calls and communicating information to the Michigan sideline. Holding the football up in one hand to indicate an expected pass, and then the other hand to indicate a run, for instance. Sources at the school that was warned said they experienced nothing in the game to implicate the Michigan ball boys. So, a big old rumor comes out, but the sources at the school that was warned said, nah, there was nothing there that implicate the Michigan ball boys had anything to do. So we got to be careful. Got to be careful of all these stories that are coming out. These rumors. The one about the Ohio State computers and communication being... the Michigan people broke in and hacked into Ohio State's tablets and whatever to get video of practices. None of that has been confirmed. None of that has been confirmed. And the ball boy story is another one that looked like people were speculating inside the Big Ten. This is how Michigan was breaking all the codes. No, it turned out it was not true. I wanted to bring up that SI article. So the Tony Petitti, the punishment, how much power does he have? How much room, how much space does he have? We are at uncharted waters, ladies and gentlemen. Uncharted waters. It's not cheating if the ball boy does it. Well, it doesn't look like they did. But people were trying to figure out, how was Michigan knowing everything we were doing? It turned out to be in-person scouting. Not the ball boys. Not the ball boys. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Down in Kansas, I'm sure the Michigan president AD could withdraw Harbaugh's raise without formal approval from the regents. That's not to say that the Board of Regents aren't being kept in the loop. Very interesting. Very interesting. So we've been on the air for over 2 hours. I think we're going to close it up for tonight. We weren't going to be on this long, but we had breaking news in the middle of everything we were doing. We were looking at the conference races. We looked at the AP top 25. We were doing a lot of stuff here. Then the breaking news came from the Wall Street Journal. Jim Harbaugh's massive contract, his new contract that was going to make him the highest paid Big Ten head coach, it's been rescinded. Has the negotiations just been hit the pause button, or is the old thing over and everything's tumbling down? We're going to find out more tomorrow. No question about it. So stick with us here, Peek Around the Corner. Please subscribe to the channel, get notified, hit that notification bell. We're going to be covering this story and everything else that happens through this week in college football. Tomorrow night, Monday night, ACC Network, we're going to be covering it live here at Peek Around the Corner. Join us. The ACC Network is going to show their matchup schedules, I think for the next, I don't know how many years. Multiple years down the road. They're not going to show the schedule with the dates of the games. I don't think they're going that far tomorrow night for 2024, but they're going to show the matchups for 2024. 17 teams with, of course, Notre Dame with the scheduling alliance. What does it look like for 2025? Do they have permanent rivals? Is it a flex rival like the Big Ten? What is it going to look like? And we're going to find that out tomorrow night. And join us. We're going to be watching on the ACC Network with our couple different monitors we have in the studio. So join us tomorrow night. That's Monday night. Then Tuesday night is the unveiling of the first conference playoffs selection committee. They're going to be ranking them. We're going to be doing that as well. So Monday night, Tuesday night, it's going to be a very busy week as we go into week 10. Week 10, fascinating conference races. Holy smokes. Then you got the Holy Smoke Theater. Washington State, Oregon State, Pac-2 versus the Pac. We're booked this week. We are already booked. Hopefully there's no more breaking news because we're already up to here. We've got enough. We got enough to do. All of our shows are going to be stacked this week. So before you leave, subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you can know when we're coming on live next or with our episodes. And please smash that like button before you leave us tonight. I want to thank you all for your comments, for your phone calls, for your generous donations. Thank you so very much. Until next time, from all of us at PATC, to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.